Everyone thinks being Dumbledore is peak wizarding goals. You've got the long beard, the legendary wand, a killer robe collection, and a phoenix sidekick. You're the headmaster of the most elite magic school in the UK. You can manipulate time and death, and you drop wisdom like confetti. Sounds great, right? Wrong. Being Dumbledore is a long, exhausting journey filled with constant crises, emotional landmines, and staffing disasters. It's less wise mentor and more emotionally repressed magical janitor with PTSD. Let's start at the beginning, or at least the part where he casually on a suburban doorstep like he's FedEx. Dumbledore's idea of childcare is writing good luck on a note and tucking it into baby Harry's blanket. You'll be safe here, he says, knowingly, leaving him with emotionally constipated muggles who make the Grinch look like Mr. Rogers. Now imagine running a school that's basically a magical Hunger Games simulator with worse safety policies than a trampoline park. Every year, Dumbledore lets literal fight for their lives. There's a troll in the bathroom, a cursed diary, a giant snake, dementors, dragons, underwater death puzzles, and an annual murder attempt in the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. And does he ever step in before things escalate? Nope. He lets the kids handle it, and then congratulates them afterward like they just passed a science fair. Then there's the staff. Oh boy, the staff. Dumbledore's hiring strategy is whatever walks into my office and hasn't exploded yet. Let's do a quick recap. Year 1, Quirrell, possessed by Voldemort. Year 2, Lockhart, walking delusion with memory issues. Year 3, Lupin, werewolf with no access to medication. Year 4, Moody, who's actually not Moody. Year 5, Umbridge, no jokes needed. Year 6, Snape, literal walking trauma. Every Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher is a red flag. At this point, Dumbledore might as well just hang a sign that says, job open cursed, pay negotiable, life expectancy 9 months. And let's not overlook his pet. Most headmasters have a goldfish. Dumbledore has a phoenix. Fawkes is beautiful, wise, majestic, and randomly bursts into flames like a magical fireworks hazard. Imagine writing a budget proposal for ministry funding and your desk companion explodes mid-sentence. Dumbledore just nods like, yes, yes, very moving. His office must constantly smell like chicken and regret. The man himself speaks only in riddles, metaphors, and confusing candy references. He's like a Google Translate version of Socrates. Ask him a simple question like, is Voldemort back? And you get something like, well, my dear boy, death is but the next great adventure. Have a sherbet lemon. What does that even mean? By the time he gives you a straight answer, someone's dead, someone's crying, and you've been assigned a chosen one prophecy against your will. Speaking of manipulation, Dumbledore is the CEO of strategic emotional withholding. He plays four-dimensional chess with everyone's feelings. He's the kind of guy who tells you you're special just enough to get you to do what he needs, but not quite enough to keep you emotionally stable. He knew Harry had to die to kill Voldemort and decided to not mention it until the literal final boss battle. By the way, lad, you're a Horcrux. Off you go. Imagine finding that out while you're bleeding in the Forbidden Forest. Thanks, Albus. Super chill. And just in case things weren't Shakespearean enough, let's talk about his romantic backstory. Dumbledore fell for Grindelwald, a dark wizard revolutionary who basically wanted to install magical fascism. Not only did Albus ignore the red flags, he helped brainstorm slogans. For the greater good, they said, as if that wasn't already tattooed on the forehead of every future dictator. When the bromance inevitably turned toxic, it led to the wizarding world's version of World War I and a dead sister. Emotional damage, unforgivable curse level. Even after all this, Dumbledore continues to build his legacy of strategic negligence. In Year 2, there's a deadly basilisk slithering through the pipes, turning kids into magical lawn ornaments. What does Dumbledore do? Absolutely nothing. Actually, scratch that. He gets suspended, and when he leaves, his parting words are basically help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who deserve it, and then vanishes into a cloud of vague mysticism. Spoiler. A 12-year-old and his sidekick solve the whole thing again. There's also that time he hid the Sorcerer's Stone, a literal immortality-granting rock, in a school full of children, then surrounded it with deadly puzzles that are only fun if you're either a Gryffindor or a professional video game speedrunner. A three-headed dog, sentient chess, flying keys, and a riddle-based poison test. This isn't security, this is a kid-friendly death trap with bonus house points. And he was of it. Imagine being McGonagall and coming into work only to find a new underground death labyrinth built under the third-floor corridor. Fast forward to year 5. Voldemort's back, Harry's traumatized, the wizarding government is in denial, and what does Dumbledore do? He ghosts Harry just for an entire year. It's to protect him, he says, as Harry spirals into magical PTSD and starts seeing snake visions. Couldn't even throw in a therapy out, just vibes and trauma. Eventually he tells Harry the full truth, but only after dragging him through years of trauma, cryptic prophecies and awkward life lessons from a werewolf. The big reveal: oh yes, my dear boy, you're a human Horcrux and need to die. But cheer up, you've got courage and friendship. That's not mentorship, that's wizard child labor. And finally, in year 6, Dumbledore dies, but not in a blaze of glory. No epic duel, no last stand, his own assassination. He literally sets a Google Calendar invite with Snape: Tuesday Tower, sunset lighting, bring wand, don't be late. He doesn't even die of Voldemort. He dies because of a cursed ring and poor impulse control. Legendary wizard defeated by accessory shopping. After his death, what does he leave behind? A painting that whispers cryptic clues to other people in between naps. That's his posthumous mentorship plan. Be a magical JPEG in a frame and hope someone understands what the hell the snitch will open at the close means. The fate of the wizarding world now rests on scavenger hunts and poetic riddles from a deceased drama professor. And despite all this, despite the emotional manipulation, the questionable hiring, the annual student endangerment, Harry still names one of his kids after him, Albus Severus, which is like naming your child after your favorite trauma. It's either a tribute or a cry for help. Dumbledore's life is a cautionary tale wrapped in a twinkle-eyed smile. He was brilliant, powerful, visionary, and also a walking HR violation who outsourced all responsibility to traumatized children. He wasn't just fighting evil, he was project managing it with zero sleep and a bowl of acid-flavored candy. So, no, it doesn't rock to be Dumbledore. It's exhausting, it's tragic, it's emotionally constipated. It's being the adult in a magical daycare that's always on fire. He deserved a raise, he deserved a vacation, he deserved therapy, but instead he got a portrait and eternal guilt. Being Dumbledore isn't about being wise, it's about being old, tired, full of secrets, and constantly trying to save the world while everyone around you is either incompetent, evil, or 12. Being Dumbledore, 1 out of 10 stars, would not recommend. Impressive beard, though.